MXTV UK, a voice for this generation.
MXTV UK, let's go. Hey, music, message, media. Hey, that's music, message, media. A voice for this generation. Hey guys, you're watching MXTV UK. My name's Josh from McKenzie, McKenzie. I'm here at the Red Bull Studios recording my own album. And I hear you want to have a conversation about me and my life experience. Why don't you come up and let's have a chat? At first, it was just a nickname. The way I play drums, I'm going for it. I can't help it. So instead of being called Animal, they called me McNasty. But now it's got a whole new spin to it. And I will not change my name, no matter what Granddad says. That is a signification of my righteousness is as filthy rags. His righteousness clothes us. He's given us that gift of righteousness. MckNasty is a reminder of whenever I kind of get beside myself and act like, yeah, I'm God's gift, which in a lot of ways, yes, I am, but because of his righteousness that's on me. It's a gift that has been given by the big guy, God like dad. He's dad. And he loves me and gets worried about me. He's concerned about me. He's happy for me. So just in case you didn't know what McNasty was, and I'm not sure about that, Dad's confirmed this to me, so it's all good. Me, a voice for this generation. You know, it's funny, right? When you're young and in a house full of energy, lots of love surrounding you, you don't recognize that you're poor. You don't recognize how in need you are. My dad left when I was 4 years old. There was a weird vibe in the house, but I didn't quite understand what was going on. I waited for Dad to come back from work, because as far as I was concerned, Daddy's going to work. All of these things would go through my mind. What is this? Why is that like that? And where's Dad? And why is Mum crying again? And what's happening? And we got older and Mummy left church, and that concerned me. He was like, I'm not going to church anymore. But what about God? But what about Jesus? Like, what about what we know? So how comes it wasn't allowed then, but it is allowed now? Like, what's happening? But the energy in the house, it was fun. So I didn't want to mess up the fun. So I turned to this. I was like, you know what? I like playing drums. I like music. I like expressing myself with music, whether it's singing, whether it's playing the bass, whether it's playing the guitar. That's what I like doing. Everything else, I'm gonna be the little boy that I'm meant to be, but I'm just gonna make it out myself and do what I'm doing. And I'm not gonna ask anybody any questions. I'm gonna get involved in this thing called music. Seas and seas of faces. Do you see me in the crowd? I've been so many places, but it's never been so loud. 'Cause when the spotlight's on your name, everybody wants to see you play. But what about the man in me? What about the man in me? So my uncle used to come to the house and he'd bring his snare drum round, and I used to like sit down with it for hours. And then when he was going, I was like, okay, cool. Well, when he coming back? Anytime he had gigs, a concert down at church or wherever, I'll just go with him. And I was with him all the time. I'd come in and make sure I do all of my homework, all of my house chores, so that I can go with Uncle Jason. He was a massive inspiration to me. He was hard on me. He was never like, oh, you are great today. Nah. I'll see you at rehearsals next week. Yeah. I'll go home chuffed. By the time I got to 11 years old, I used to hear Mummy shouting and screaming, you don't contribute to the house, you don't do this, you don't do that, I'm here by myself, you are the elder ones, you're supposed to be helping me, you're supposed to be doing this and that and the other. Ah! There's no way Mummy's telling me that. So by 11, I said, no, I'm not getting into trouble anymore. I'm gonna play some drums, and I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm gonna get it together. I just knew that I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna look after my mom. And I just had all of these like amazing like goals that I was setting. These things kind of drove me to those places, finding a road to being able to make that happen. I'm playing at a few little churches here and there. I'll get £10 and a patty and a ginger beer. You know, I was happy. There wasn't much ginger beer in our house, yeah? And if there was any kind of fizzy drink, it wasn't all of the name brand ones. It would have been like fizzy pop, the low grade ones. We didn't have the chocolate digestives in the brown bag, the milk chocolate. If that was in the house, know that there was a visitor coming around. And hopefully when the visitor left, there was still half the packet left. Like, you just need to be with me here. It was a privilege, okay? To get a patty, your own patty, that it was yours, your own. And a ginger beer. It was just perfect. Good times, guys, good times. Plus I got 10 quid. I got my own money here. My bus pass for the month cost £4. I still had £6 left, so I'll keep £1 for me. I didn't need to share it with anybody. And the other £5, I'll buy bread, I'll buy some milk, and I'll leave that in the house. But my bus pass was sorted. And my little treats, I'll go and get me some penny sweets. You know, I was coming into a world of independence. MXTV UK, MXTV UK, let's go. Hey, music, message, media, hey, that's music, message.
Our ultimate goal is that people would find freedom from their past, peace in their present, and hope for the future.
A voice for this generation. Yeah. Yeah. School became a bit of a challenge, but I've already got an idea of what I want to be. I'm getting to play at different little churches every now and again. Whenever there's a concert, or I might be playing with this choir or this group, being in the house band. Uncle Jason would play bass, I'll play drums. I get to year 9 and I get an opportunity to go to Ghana, and it's meant to be my SATs. I'm like, I ain't doing the SATs, man. I'm going to Ghana. I got an opportunity to go and play some drums in another country. I'm going there. My mum was like, okay, and what about your SATs? Well, I'm just not gonna do that, mum. So she's like, I don't think that's a good idea, but you're not doing anything wrong. You're not on the street. You're not causing any trouble. You're playing your drums. Go ahead. So I went to Ghana for 9 weeks, and it was amazing. I learned how to appreciate the things that I have. I met people that didn't have much, but the joy inside that they had, the laughter, the happiness was so incredible that it humbled me. I went there all bougie with my nice sunglasses and my nice tracksuits and nice trainers, and I came back with my bag empty because I saw people without and I gave them stuff. I come back to school, I got into some trouble, I got blamed for something, and I was like to my principal, I was like, dude, I wasn't even here. I just got back in the country. Like, why are you calling my name? Because that's your group of people and you're the ringleader. It was very much so like that at school, like always being blamed for things. I just put it on Josh, yeah. It was Josh McKenzie, yeah, that guy there, bring him in. It was like, you know what? I get to be a child. And when I leave from here, I'm going to rehearsal. I've got to go and write an invoice for that person. I've got to learn 20 songs over there. I've got to make sure that I've got my tie on correctly because I'm going to go and play in front of, you know, Prince Charles, or I was doing big things and I had to act as an adult. I was being an adult outside of school. I stopped going to lessons. I'll be in the music block. I'll be playing my drums. I'll play basketball at lunchtime and break time, and then just go back to the music block. I'm not interested in Romeo and Juliet and all of this stuff. It was time for me to do my GCSEs, and I was like, Mum, I think I'm done with this school thing. I'm finished, man. This is long. She's like, well, you can't just leave school. And I'm like, well, why not? Maybe school's just not for me. So she says, okay, what do you want to do? I said, I'm gonna play drums for real. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna gig and play drums. I'm gonna be the best drummer in the world. That's what I'm gonna do. I was very sure of this. And whether my mum said yes or no, I was going to go and do what I was gonna do. I don't mind waiting. I don't mind waiting. I don't mind waiting on your love. I don't mind waiting. Within 2 weeks, I got called to do an audition for this guy called Keziah Jones. I says, hi, I'm Josh. hey, I'm Keziah, nice to meet you. So he's like, let's jam. We jammed for 2 hours. Had such a great time. And then he was like, right, cool, well, we'll be in contact with you. How do we phone you? I had to give him my mum's number because I didn't have a phone. Called my mum maybe 3 or 4 weeks later and was like, look, we really loved his playing, but we can't use him because he's not really got much experience. And it didn't bother me. I had so much fun jamming with him. 2 or 3 months into him recording, they called me again. Do you mind coming down to the studio? I know we said we wasn't going to use you, but because I had a strong connection with you. Went down to the studio and I had my little drum kit and it was rough around the edges, but I was like, cool. Listen to this song here. I said, yeah, great. I said, there's no drums on there though. I said, yeah, I'm leaving the drums off on purpose. I want you to hear it the way you hear it and you go in and play it. I said, yeah, all right, cool, great. Played through the song. And the engineer was like, that's brilliant, it's really good. And I thought, he's just making me feel nice because I'm young. It's cool, I can take it, you know. I got my Uncle Jason onto me already, you know what I mean? It's cool, I'm all right. He's like, no, it's really, really good. Can you try this one? I says, yeah, no problem. By the end of that day, I recorded 6 songs. So he says, can you come in tomorrow? I says, yeah, no problem. And I recorded another 6. That was the whole record in 2 days. I had no idea that it was the record, but I was like, well, yeah, you wanted to try some ideas and yeah, we done it. And he says, did you tell the manager how much you wanted? And I was like, yeah, I told him that I wanted 200 quid. I'm gonna go for it this time. I'm gonna charge these guys 200 pounds. They might say yes. If they say no, even if they give me 50 quid, better than the 10 pounds on the ginger beer and the patty, man. Like, I'm moving up. So the dude said, oh, okay. He said, what did you think of that snare that you used, you know, on one of the songs? I said, yeah, it was lovely, man. It was a really nice snare. I know that Dennis Chambers uses one of those. And he says, yeah, he does. He said, do you want it? I was like, well, you're going to give me that snare? That's an expensive snare. He said, yeah, no, I think you should take it. And then what he done, he went onto the invoice and he wrote down the name of the song, then he put 200 pounds. And he wrote down another name of the song, 200 pounds, another name of that. So he put 12 songs down and put 200 pounds next to each song. And I was like, whoa. He's giving me this snare drum, which cost lots of money. And now he's giving me lots of money. This is nuts. I don't know what's going on here, but cool. I was freaking out. But I had to play it like, no, this is an everyday thing. No, I'm cool. I didn't know what to do with it. I gave 2 grand to my mum. I was like, I don't know what to do with this money. And I just kept 400 pounds. That 400 pounds lasted me a lifetime. Oh man, I felt so rich, man. Then I had to go in for one more day just to kind of do a few touch-ups or whatever. And whilst I was in the studio, somebody said, this guy called John Gibbon has called. He's asking for you to come in and do this audition with this guy called Daniel Bedingfield. And I was like, all right. So I went into the engineer and I says, who's Daniel Bedingfield? And the engineer looks at me, he's like, you don't know who Daniel Bedingfield is? I was like, no, who's that? He said, you don't know that song? Gotta get through this. I was like, nah. He's like, I think you should go to the audition. So I went down there. Everybody that I'd seen on TV, on Top of the Pops, every drummer, I used to always look at the drummers, and most of them were there. This audition was in front of everybody. There was no kind of like, okay, can you come into the room now, please? Can you show me what you have? Okay, yeah, you leave now. Okay, we'll call you tomorrow. No, it wasn't like that. And I just sat on the stairs for the whole time, just watching everyone play. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm getting to see you here right now. I see you on TV every other morning, on CD UK, on Top of the Pops, and you're just sitting there and you're playing now before me. I was in awe. The end of the day, John says, is there Josh McKenzie here? And I says, yeah, that's me. He says, well, you haven't played yet. And I was like, oh yeah, I haven't played, have I? Daniel looks at me like, he's like, oh, hi. He was kind of looking at me like, who's this kid? Daniel's like, okay, I'll tell you when to come in. I says, yeah, all right, no problem. The keyboard player comes in, the guitarist comes in, the bass player comes in, and I'm just waiting, you know, I'm holding the hats. I'm ready to come in. And he ain't said anything. And he's like, are you not gonna come in? And I said, well, you didn't tell me to. And he's like, oh. Now, in my mind, I thought, he just thinks I'm some little kid that can't play. That's why he's doing that. He's like, oh. All right, go on then, solo. I was like, you've said the worst thing ever to this young individual. So I just blazed. I was going for it on the drums. And I just remember him laying down on the floor. He says down the microphone, "Every drummer that is in here, you can go home. I found my drummer." And I was like, there's no way he's talking about me. So I went to go and pack up my stuff and go home. And John says, "No, hey, come back here." Dan's saying, "You're his drummer." And I'm like, "You what? Me? I want you to learn this CD and we'll see you in rehearsals." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool." I'm walking down the road and I called my mum. I said, "Mum, I think they want me to play for them, you know?" I think it might have been like a month or two later. So in that month or two, I was like, it's definitely not happening. They called me into rehearsals. And from that point there, all of what I'd been through, going through music and doing everything, going through school, being around Uncle Jason, seeing my mum kind of struggle and everything, it was all over. It was like, I've made it! Yes! I'm in! I'm a professional! That era of my life was just like, oh, I'm in. And I felt like I was achieving something. I'm bringing money home to my mum. My brothers and sisters don't necessarily need to be worrying about if they can buy their school uniform because it's all covered. It's cool. I just felt like I was doing things correctly. That there was the beginning of a new Josh, you know? Yeah.
Even when it seems like no one else does, Jesus cares. Chat with someone who understands at JesusCares.com.
The new Josh, the new dude, got lost in the glitz and the glamour of the industry, of the music industry. The new Josh became this flamboyant, energetic, ticking time bomb. I was doing the sex, drugs and rock and roll thing where it just goes, and that's what was going on with me. The girls, I was smoking a lot of like weed, I was drinking a lot and act like I wasn't brought up in a certain way. I do believe in boundaries, boundaries that keep you sane. That when you come to a line or a certain point, you go, I can't cross that one actually. There were certain lines that I would normally say, I can't cross that, where this time I just went, whatever. I don't ever like to say that there's no coming back. However, if you go so far, sometimes the guilt and the shame messes with you so much so that you say to yourself, and you talk yourself out of going back to the line of, here's my boundary and I wish not to go past this boundary. We toured like crazy. After Daniel Bedingfield and Natasha Bedingfield and Jamelia and all of these people like in the early 2000s, I was always with older people. So there was a level of kind of like respect. If somebody told me something, I would always hear them because I come from that. When I went on tour with Tiny, I became my own boss. I was the eldest on the tour. Everyone was looking to me and I was like, well, anything goes. When really and truly, that was a time to kind of like pull it back and kind of go, okay, center yourself. Instead, I decided to go on a bit of a rampage. And in that rampage, I met my wife. And after a while, I was like, okay, I gotta get serious about this woman. She seems to have her head together. She seems to have her business together. She seems to have her music together. She knows what she's doing. She knows where she's going. I need to be attached to that. I decided to like kind of drop all of the rock and roll lifestyle out a little bit, but I didn't actually deal with it. I just dropped it. I kind of just jumped at everything and thought, oh. Now, when we come to that religious word, I was like, well, this is my girl and you can't have sex before marriage, so I should get married. And I decided to get married when I was 20 years old. And then we had our son. Now, it wasn't a bad thing that I got married. It was an amazing thing that I got married. And it's manned me up over a number of years. However, our marriage should have been more free-flowing in love and prosperity and greatness and beauty and just ravishing with everything. However, it wasn't necessarily like that because I just was still trying to find me. So I get called to go on the tour with Tiny Temper, and my daughter was 3 days old and I was off on tour. Can you see a comparison? Dad left when his youngest was 3 or 4 days old, and I'm off and I've gone on tour. I went on tour with Tiny for maybe, I'm gonna say about 2 or 3 years. Like consistently, I would come home a week, go back out for like 4 weeks, come back home for like 3 days, go back into rehearsals. You know, I was constantly away. In the first year or so, I kind of kept myself together. And then the second year, I kind of like started to like slip, and there was like keeping secrets and girls, and it started to really mess with me. I had 2 choices: to kind of say what was happening or to just keep going on and try to fix it. But it was a secret between me and the devil, man. No matter how much good things I've done, this little thing would just keep coming back to haunt me. I was smoking a lot of secrets, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Anything goes. The devil, man. Lost in the glitz and the glamour of the industry. I felt like I blacked out for a number of years. Money, endorsements, people telling you how great you are. There was one day where I kind of went, I need to stop all of this. I'm just a dude in the back facilitating all of these people. I want to try and do my own thing. I decided to kind of do this DJ McKenzie thing. I got called to go on to Britain's Got Talent, and I'd done something on there, and I got quite far in it, and things were growing again and everything, and I was like, okay, you've been here before, yeah, where doors opened and you was doing the Kazaya record and you started with Daniel and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and you lost yourself. So now you're getting another chance to do your thing. Don't lose yourself this time. But lo and behold, nosedive. So at this point here, I lose everything. Everything's gone. No one's calling me. I've decided to not do this gig, not do that gig, blah, blah, whatnot, whatnot. And my daughter comes to me one day and says, Dad, you're my hero. And I'm like, why would she say something like that? If she knew what her dad was doing behind closed doors, would she still call me that? That messed with me. And then I had to ask myself the question. I said, 1 second, even if she did know that, her perception of who she thinks I am is never gonna change because I'm Dad. If I'm standing next to the strongest man in the world and somebody says, who's stronger, your dad or this guy here? She's choosing me. How are you now gonna facilitate that thought that's in her mind, that fact that's in that little girl's mind? And I thought, whoa, I need to talk to her mum. And at that point there, I decided to spill the beans about my mad other self that wasn't at home with us. And that kind of broke my family. It was 5 years ago now, but my wife stayed, and every day we get stronger and we're trying to build our family. And in that, in me going, okay, you know what? It's caused my family to get stronger. Now the doors that open now and the things that are happening now, I'm like, there's some places where I walk into, I don't have any business being there. I'm not qualified. I don't have the experience. They're having the boardroom meeting and I'm like, okay, yeah, what he said, cool, I'm down. Because I have no business being there. But I believe that like God's just decided to go, you know what, you're manning up. Well done, son. Go on, I can open this door. And each time he opens a door is the more that I keep going, you know what, I can't go back. I've got to keep pushing forward. Kind of just center myself and go, yo, get it together, it's okay. Now don't get me wrong, women are, that's my default, that's my poison. Women, wow. God done such a wonderful thing when he created woman. However, the one that I have, that's the one for me, man. She keeps me in check. Whenever I feel like I missed the call, she brings me down and she's like, no, you don't look that cool. No, it's not that right. Whenever I'm doing well and I think I am not, she says, no man, you done really well. And I'm like, sure. And she validates me. She gives me everything I need. It's not just a moment, it's a lifetime partner that I have. The Bible speaks about the earth being the Lord's and the fullness thereof. You having an amazing job, you having, money and all of these things here that's what Dad wants for us. Yeah, it's the truth. I believe that. However, when you're getting all of these things and your mind is not right and you're not focused, it can deter you from the path of, I don't know, come on, you're all right, you're doing well, keep going. Remember where you come from, remember what you've been through, remember your family life. You didn't have certain things in place. So come on, you know, remember, it's the big guy that's got you here. This is me, this is my wife, but God is also within this triangle and it's all good. We're cool. I choose to be a real king of a king who is Christ Jesus. And that's what I believe. That's where I'm at. And it's difficult because sometimes I get gassed up and I'm like, well, boy, it's me, innit? But it's never me. He's clothed me with his righteousness and he says, keep going, dude. I ain't perfect, man. I promise you. I promise you I'm not perfect. I'm getting it together day by day. This thing called drums saved me in so many ways. This thing called music, this beautiful thing that God has created called music has saved me. This wonderful thing called marriage has saved me and kept me in check. It's not so much the rules and the regulations of religion, but it's more the things that he's blessed me with that are gifts. Drums is a gift, music is a gift, my wife is a gift. It's all gifts. Those are the things that I can definitely see the manifestation of who this great big God we serve. That I see that through the gifts that he's given. If you forget about the giver of the gift and you keep rolling with the gift, you're gonna come into a hole and you will surely feel it. Woo! Because it might be hot, it might be a slap, it might be something that takes you out so much and pushes you so much further back to where you was meant to be. Yeah, it's just not the right thing. So my encouragement to everybody, to every young person out there that is striving to be a musician, that is striving to be the best in their job, that's striving to be the best in their school, in their uni, is if you keep God the Father, your dad, your king, first, I promise you, yeah, you will go as far as you need to. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. The house is Dad's and everything in it. And you have access to it because it's Dad's. Yeah? And you are made in the image of Dad. You are a manifestation of Dad. Walk in that. And that makes you cool. And that makes you the biggest thing, that makes you the best thing since sliced bread. That fact that I am a manifestation of God. Bless you. Okay, I'm done. This is my mate, Sheila. Go and have a look. Sheila's been with me for a number of years. Come on, let's go. MXTV UK, let's go. Hey, music, message, media. Hey, that's music, message, media. A voice for this generation.